Good evening to everyone. We have the pleasure this evening to speak to David Kleinman from Miami, Florida. He doesn't live in Miami. He's an Israeli that's now on shlichut in a school together with his wife Limor. And as the war broke out,
And the 4 kids.
and their 4 kids, excuse me, and I'm about to talk to him about something very unique that happened when the war broke out. We recall in Efrat, the sirens, people getting called up on Simchas Torah. All of a sudden, cars are in the streets, and a lot of unanswered questions that we still have. But we haven't yet spoken to someone that actually went through that experience, not in Israel, but as a shaliach abroad. David, it's a pleasure for you to be with us this evening, and thank you for giving us some of the time. If you can tell us first and foremost, where does the war come to you? You're in the middle of a 2-day Yom Tov in Miami.
So thank you so much. It's a big zchut for me to talk with you, Rabbi Yoshua, and with your amazing community, Kapot Marim. So actually, it's the first time that I'm here. It happened war in Israel, and I came to davening in Shabbat morning. It's Shmini Atzeret. It's not Simchat Torah here. And at 9 in the morning, I came with my two oldest sons, and somebody came and they say with very serious face, he's very sorry about what he's going to tell me, and he starts to tell me the story what happened in Israel. And like every Israeli, I say to myself, come on, it's better something small happen in Israel, but the American doing from that very big deal. בסדר, לא כזה נורא. Okay, we know what is when something happened in Gaza. It's not the first time. After 5 minutes came one more person with red eyes, and he looked at me, and I start to understand that maybe it was true what the first person say, because the second person, he is Israeli. He lived in Israel for a lot of years, so he knew all the nuances, and he came, and יצאנו מהבית כנסת, because we're not talking in the synagogue, and then he started to tell me all the story with all the information. I say to myself, maybe my English is not so good that I'm not really understand everything that he say. Understand, okay. And then I say, okay, it's very serious. And then more and more members from the synagogue came, and everybody look at me with the red eyes, because I'm the Israeli, I'm the shaliach, and I'm start to understand that something very big happened in Israel. And of course, it's not like in Israel that you can ask somebody what really happened. In this moment, I was sure that I need to check my phone to see if my Miluim group need me or they send something. But I just learned 2 weeks before that in the Misaki Sharim, that if you have kula you give to yourself, it's maybe better to ask a rabbi to have this kula. So I went to the Rabbi Bigson, a big tzaddik from Beit Israel community here in Miami Beach, and I'm asking him, can I check my phone? And he said, you know what? I'm not sure. Maybe ask some from not Jewish. You know what? Finish the davening after Musaf. You can check your phone if you feel that it's very important. Say, okay, that's what the rabbi say. That's what I'm going to do. After 2 minutes, the rabbi came to my place where I was sitting in the synagogue and say, I'm sorry, I think about it again. I think that you need your phone, but again, only your WhatsApp group, don't send any message to everybody, don't watching you, just that. And that's what I did. It happened in Shacharit in the morning, in Shabbat, and I didn't sleep all the night. All the time I was with my phone. I sent message to my unit. My Miluim, it's the Yasara Banut. We are working with a dead body. So
Chalalim in Hebrew.
Chalalim, yeah. We're working with the Chalalim, Chalalei Tzahal. But in this situation, because everything was balagander and terrible, so we also my unit work with חללים אזרחים, okay, it's אזרחים, and of course חללי אויב, the Hamas dead. And I send message to all my commanders. I say, if you need me, let me know. I'm taking the first flight. Okay, I'm skipping a little bit, but the most beautiful thing that happened in the Beit Israel, that everybody came and told me, if you need to fly, don't worry about everything. We're going to help you with everything. Don't think about your children, about the school, homework. nothing. Just know that if you're flying, we are here with you. And 2 hours before the צאת חג שני, שמחת תורה, buy a ticket, and I start את המסע שלי לישראל. And it was very long. It's like almost 2 days to come to
Really?
Israel. Yeah. I took a flight from Miami to New York, to New Jersey, from New Jersey to New York, to Athens, Atuna.
Wow.
Yeah, and from Atuna to Hercules from the חיל האוויר. באו לקחת אותנו, come and take us. And all the time it's all very hard because you know that if you are in the States and you're not in the way, so you have a lot of things to do to help to Am Yisrael, but if you're in the way, you have anything to do. So the 2 days on the way, it was very, very hard, not only for me, for all the 200 soldiers that they came from all the states and from all the America, from Colombia. Somebody just closed his falafel business that he have in Hawaii, and he came. And then I came to my base, and we start, Rabbi, we say every morning, Baruch Ata Hashem, Pokeach Ivrim, but we never think about it, what we want to see. And the last 4 weeks in Israel, I've been there for 4 weeks, you see too much things that you not really want to see. If it's with the Halalim, or if it's with the people that they טיפלו בחללים, that they work with the Halalim. And sometimes, בדיעבד, you start to understand a lot of things. I want to tell you one story. Every day in the base, we learn halachot. And one of the halachot is והיה מחנך קדוש. We need to make the place holy. So of course we start not to say לשון הרע, לא לקלל. But one of the most important thing is keep the mitzvot and ללמוד Torah. And every day I gave a shiur Torah, very interesting, about חינוך מיניות לילדים, how to give a sex education for the children. It's a shiurim to
I'll
the
just
parents.
tell the crowd that's listening that David and his wife Limor have an organization that they have called Va'ahavta that deals with this issue for adults, obviously, for married couples, and as we hear just now, from children. This is a passion that they have and that they brought to the Jewish people, even from Miami. Sorry to interrupt you.
תודה רבה. So I give every day a lesson, and 4 days it was specific about that. I teach them from the second when the ילד או ילדה just boring until the חתונה. How the parents need to educate, לחנך את הילדים. After this 4 days that I give every day the lesson around 1 hour, 1:15, the people came. It's a very emotional thing. I didn't think about it. And they say, after everything that I saw with the halalim, with the babies, I said it in Hebrew, לא יכולתי לראות יותר את גוף האדם. הגוף שלי הגעיל אותי. They can see body. And they said that the lesson that we start to learn everything from the beginning, okay? It's very help them to feel good with the people that are still in the life. Somebody told me that he just came at home and he just take a shower. He didn't want to see his children. He didn't want to see his wife. He didn't want to get a hug. And he said after that we learn and we did like a restart to our relationship with our body, it was something very, very big. And I say that because sometimes we don't know what to do. And I didn't know that I'm going to give this part of shiurim about the chinuch leminiyut. But in this situation, everything can help. And even we just know that b'diavad. And
wow, I never even thought that would be a ramification of what you were doing for 4 weeks in Israel, and that is Zihui Chalalim. which I'll just share with you. We all knew that is a very complex situation because in Efrat, in our community, we lost a soldier, Roy Weiser, Hashem Yikom Damo, and it took 4 days from the time the parents knew to the time of the funeral. 4 days where the parents are in aninut. They can't get closure on what they're doing. And that's just ka'ayin v'cha'efes, k'klipat hashum, to what you were going through, and that is to actually do it. And you did this for 4 weeks straight, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
נכון, נכון.
And may I ask, now that you're back in Miami, are the Hui Chalalim has finished, or it's still going on, or there's nothing more to do? There's no DNA left.
So again, I'm Chayal Pashut. I don't really know, but I know that one day we check 100 body to be sure that we didn't miss any soldier, every Ezrach. They're working all the time. So, you know, a lot of time we're doing something, but only 5 days after we get the information. We don't really know. But you know, this is the first time that we actually understand what is Chas v'Chalila Aguna. We understand what is mean En Simcha Ke'atarat HaSafek. Even it's a bad news, but you know, Chazal, they are with us for 2,000 years. Not all this time I really understand what is mean. And I know that the Rabbanut and the Rofim in the army, they're doing the best with Yirat Kodesh. And we work sometimes all the night just to take one more DNA, to be sure that everything that we took is 100%. And with a lot of Yirat Kodesh. So I know that they're doing their best.
Well, I have to say, David, that you coming from Miami to Israel is a chesed shel emet, but to deal with this while you're in Israel in Madim is a chesed shel emet to the second power, b'cheskat shtayim. And I am absolutely, I stand in awe of what you did. And I just want to bring you from the very harsh description you just gave, which is going to be part of our life for the next few years, I believe. In other words, what we went through and what you went through specifically is going to be part of the Jewish story, the Jewish history for years to come, and definitely for the next few years. But allow me, on a lighter note, to take you to the 4 weeks later. We all saw the video of you coming home and reuniting with your children. Was it really a surprise? They didn't know you were coming?
Yeah, it was really surprise, no fake.
Wow. So it's even more emotional than I thought.
Yeah. It was a surprise because I didn't know for the last second if I actually will come back to Miami. I told to my מפקד, Shmulik, my מ"פ in the Yasar, Pluga Aleph, that my son have bar mitzvah, and if it's okay that in Tfilat Mincha, I will put tefillin with him. He will put it first time in Shacharit.
Shacharit, because of the 7-hour
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, and this is the first time that he hear that actually, okay, I'm thinking I'm going to stay here, and he did everything to let me fly back to my bar mitzvah son. And we did everything that, you know, that I can come back if something will happen. So it was a surprise to everybody. Just on my way to the airplane, I called to my principal in Hebrew Academy and told her, okay, I'm I'm coming back. So yeah, it was a surprise to everybody. The only one who know that is, of course, my wife, Limor. She is the really big hero. And that it was a surprise to everybody. And Baruch Hashem, it was amazing bar mitzvah. If I can more something, that sometimes people feel that if they are not in the army, they cannot do anything to help this war. And my message to everybody that this war, it's not between Hamas and the IDF. This war is between Hamas and Am Israel. And Am Israel, we are together, and everybody is like a puzzle. Everybody is one part in the big puzzle. Somebody need to be in the tzava, in the sadir, miluim. We have the oref, we have the Yehudat Tfutzot. Everybody help to each other, and it's actually kish echad belev echad. And I told to my student, continue with your schedule, continue with your basketball game, continue to be happy, because Hamas want to make us sad. Let's say no. Our win is to continue to keep the mitzvot, continue with our life, of course, to remember, לא להתעלם, but in the same time to see that עם ישראל חי וחי בהם, ובחרת בחיים.
I think you just touched on one of the most important things for us, not in the field like you were, but rather back in the Oref, as we say it in Hebrew, and that is that we can't give Hamas another victory, and therefore we have to continue having bar mitzvahs and weddings and going
100%.
to school, even though it's difficult for all of us to go back to regular life. It's regular life, as you probably are experiencing on your WhatsApp groups, as we are, and that is that every day we get, unfortunately, part of our life. This chayal needs tefillot, he was patzua kashe, and this chayal is, unfortunately, was killed al Kiddush Hashem, and it's a very difficult world we're living in, but we can't give Hamas another victory. I just wanted to ask one last question for you, David, and that is the following. During this war, we have seen the Israelis mobilize and doing amazing things. We have seen Chutz La'aretz being 100% supportive in every which way possible, literally in every which way possible, just coming and saying, what can we do from here? You're a bridge. You're a chayal in Miami that went to Israel to meet Gayes in the emergency call-up and served the country in Madim for 4 weeks. May I ask, now that you're coming back to Miami, and you know that most of the chayalim are still mobilized, and the war is not over yet, how are you going to continue your service to Israel in the next few weeks? I mean, after you celebrate the bar mitzvah and reunite with your children properly, what's going to be your way of continuing?
It's a very hard question because, the Gemara says, קשוט עצמך, אחר כך קשוט אחרים. And for me, the most easy thing to do is go back to the army, do my miluim. But no, I think that now it's to stay here and to continue to learn Torah, to see how we can help. If we hear about some families that they need help, to buy from Israel business, it's very important because a lot of business in Israel, במיוחד in the south, they lose their business. So try to help them, to be in touch. And I think this is the time. We know what happened before the war. עם ישראל היה מפורד. And now we need to stay together. It doesn't matter what type of Jewish you are, what you think. You are small or you are Yamin. This is not the point. To respect everybody. And it's not...
I'm sorry.
Okay, this is our life. I think it's now, this is the time to take all the things that the Chazal say and not put it on the wall like a beautiful, משפט יפה. Take it inside. ואהבת לרעך כמוך אני השם. It's a mitzvah from the Torah. And it's very hard mitzvah. But if Hashem give us this mitzvah, we can and we need to do that. To love everybody, because Hashem say that.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I hope and pray that we all will continue to indeed fulfill V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. I have not felt as an Israeli and as a Jew and more united with every single Jew around the world and in Israel than the last few weeks. And I
think that the 50 minutes that you're doing every day, this is amazing thing to helping to Am Israel now and for the future.
We definitely are trying. And I have to admit that I'm beginning to think about the day after the war, both professionally in my work in Sohar, as well as personally. What are we going to be able to maintain in some way or another, the achdut and the solidarity that we had in the last few weeks? And it's not easy, but I'm pretty sure that with people like you who can tell your story and say,
like us.
Huh?
Like us.
Like us. But someone that actually served in Madim in the last few weeks and comes back to Chutz La'aretz and says, this was an experience that we cannot easily forget, and we have to continue to the best of our abilities to continue it, and to continue the solidarity and the achdut and the learning of Torah and the tefillot and everything else the Jewish people are doing. I'm just going to end by saying that I'd like to share with the group both, I already did your video of coming home, which is beautiful, and it was reported on the local news. Did they report the bar mitzvah as well? That really wasn't newsworthy.
נכון מאוד.
That's what
Thank
I
you so
thought.
much.
I
Yeah.
will send to the group, God willing, the both videos so they could see both your homecoming as well as the bar mitzvah of your son. His name again?
אלעזר קליימן.
Elazar. So he should have a mazel tov and be able
אמן,
to
אמן.
enjoy you and Limor and for many years to come in health and in happiness. And Mirza Hashem, I hope and pray that you and I can meet again under better circumstances.
נכון. בזמני שלום. תודה רבה. Thank you so
בבקשה,
much.
שיהיה לך כל טוב, הצלחה
אמן.
רבה בשליחותכם, ובעזרת השם אנחנו מקווים ומתפללים שנוכל לדבר עם ירצה השם בעיתות שלום.
שלום. תודה רבה.
כל טוב.